Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. It has been a week here, and at Dustin's Dynasty, we celebrated my 40th birthday. If you followed from last week's vlog, that I was in preparation of celebrating, and it has been a wild week. And on top of everything, just having a normal week, a normally scheduled week for the most part. And I missed a few changes that were sudden. We got through them okay, and and then we had some things at the end of the week that we did that were a little different than normal. Hence, that's why we're here on a Saturday doing this week's vlog instead of the traditional Friday night. But it goes to show how much, you know, I had heard earlier this how much it shows to be a warrior, and where I get the word warrior from is not only in a mom of an autistic child, where they often say that. A blogger said it takes a lot too for us as autistic people to get through the world and just get to things, so many things in life that may not be what we like or what we can do with ease. So like just getting through a week where maybe the transportation runs a little different, or maybe you go to a park and there's a festival going on and the music's loud and you have to and there's a lot going on in the week on top of everything else in the week. Maybe an appointment changed quickly to a certain setting and you have to work to get there in a few hours. Maybe, just everything could change, and the world is anymore in 2025 is full of change. And I think one thing that set us back or maybe made us more resilient with COVID 5 years ago is that there was always change in a world where autistic people, such as myself, thrived in routine, thrived in things being there all the time. And then, now we know there's a lot of uncertainty, and there can be a lot of uncertainty, and there is unexpected uncertainty. But in all of that, it's being the warrior and getting through those things. Yet, and dealing with, ma managing yourself, getting through those challenging moments to exist, because maybe family wants you to do something, or maybe family knows they have to push you a little bit to do something to get out of your mundane day-to-day routine of feeling who you are and where you are, not as an aggressive way, but as in a way to feel with family and be with family and care about family. Those things make us push ourselves and, exist. And then, we have what we call autistic burnout, and it does exist in different ways for different people. For me, it's been a long week, and I took a lot of time to rest today on Saturday, and it took a lot of time to get moving. And I'm not, at first I was ashamed of that, but then I realized that's part of the autism. That's part of what being autistic is. It's part of dealing with the stressors and recuperating from those stressors. It is what self-care is. In essence, it's taking care of myself and getting myself back to where I need to be and caring for myself. Is it something that I get angry, maybe that the day has passed or the, but or whatever, but I move on. And yeah, do I really like doing things like laundry on that later in the day? Not really, but we adapt, we learn, and we move on. Laundry has to be done today. It's just this is a part of life. You have to have clean clothes to wear to go out in public, or go see family, or go to work. Those things are a part of life, and in that process, I get to go outside, read the newspaper, get some fresh air. Those things were part of what was part of also self-care, is taking care of myself in the way that I see fit. We often refer to self-care as a buzzword or something that is more of an enjoyment, but really it's re-energizing ourselves, getting ourselves back on track. and being the best self that we can be, when it's challenging, and being autistic and living in a world that is often not made to meet our needs is challenging. It's about sensory, having a lot of sensory input, or maybe not having a space for ourselves that is helpful for us. It's a lot of things, and sometimes we get really overwhelmed from things that are just too much for us. And it takes a lot for us to do those things. But in the same vein, we need to recharge from those things and get back into a routine that is more accustomed to our needs. It takes a lot. And I wouldn't, I mean, it's not saying that work isn't too much. It's not saying that day services are too much. I need those things. It's sometimes the extra things that, while they are nice to do and they are things to do, there also has to be time for recharging from those things, because sometimes those extra things are what are too much. And there are things that need to be done in life. You have to do things, if you live independently, or you have to do things that are, part of your personal routine. Those things have to be done too. And you have to make time and balance all of that. Is it easy? No. Is it something you necessarily want to do or have to do? Or it's all in finding that balance. And when you have other diagnoses that are on top of being autistic, like anxiety, bipolar disorder, those sort of things, those things too have to be balanced and accounted for in their very own way. And it may mean you have to go to bed a little earlier so that you can get a good night's sleep, and deal with the day ahead of you, so that you're well rested and that you're ready to go. And that, for a long time, until recently, till this year, has been a hard thing for me to accept. But I'm not myself when I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not the person that no one wants to be. Even though, it's about getting enough sleep. We talked about, and about everything else, making sure you're hydrated, making sure that you take your routine toilet time. It's all of those things on top of the medicine, because, maybe you're not feeling, yourself. And I noticed that yesterday when I was at work. I wasn't feeling 100% myself, but once I had went to the restroom and taken care of business, I was fine and I was okay to get through the rest of the day. But it's all of those things that really matter. And you have to figure out, it's like playing detective with your body sometimes, figuring out what is it that you need? What is it that is important to you? What needs taken care of for you to get through the day? Maybe it is, like today, like that additional rest that you needed because you've been through so much this week, and it's hard. It is hard. And it's sometimes it seems like it's unfair, and you want to beat yourself up about it. You want to be angry about it. You want to just say, I don't want to do this anymore. But it gets better, and I've been through these moments, and it does get better eventually over time. It's hard to understand. It's hard to conceptualize. Sometimes we have flawed thinking as autistic adults, and sometimes we don't see things for what they need to be seen as. And that too can be as hard to see. But we push through, and I think that's the thing about being a warrior and pushing through and never giving up, not giving up with the hard stuff. Yeah, did I want to do laundry today? No, I didn't. I wanted to put it off. But I did it because I knew I had to, and I'm continuing to do it because you have to have clean clothes to survive in life. You should have a clean living environment too. You should have clean everything. And, for the longest time, it was hard for me to see that. And through it all, I did start to see that and start to understand that. But it took time. It took understanding. It took, on top of all of that, it also took taking care of myself too. and that some things just don't get taken care of in the way that they need to be taken care of. It's nothing to be beat ourselves up over. We are human beings. We deserve breaks. We deserve relaxation. And sometimes the world is just too much for us, especially, when you have challenges such as I do, such as being autistic and other things. Yes, I'm going to try to enjoy the rest of today. Yes, I'm going to try to make the best of today, but I am going to get some sleep tonight and I am going to start fresh tomorrow. And, sometimes it is getting through life one day, 1 hour, one task at a time. And it's getting the best. And it's just like my t-shirt says here. It's okay not to be okay. And sometimes we don't do the best things for ourselves. Sometimes things happen, but we have to pick ourselves up and we have to move forward with life. Life can hurt sometimes too, but we have to take care of ourselves. We have to make ourselves a priority today and always, and make our mental health always a priority, always. It doesn't matter, because of this or that or the other thing that we want to, not take care of ourselves. We have to make ourselves a priority, always. And it takes, and sometimes making ourselves a priority is what makes us the warrior that we need to be to get through these things that are hard for the rest, for us to get through as autistic folks and the rest of the world. That's what it takes. And it makes us the warriors that we are. So I want to thank you for listening today. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. I'm on the web. That address is www.dustinsdynastyusa.com. And I will have a link tree with all my podcasting platforms, social media platforms, and the like. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty under Linktree. Again, I want to thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, love yourselves, stay safe out there, and we'll talk at you soon. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. And we'll have a good weekend, everyone. We'll talk at you soon.